Here comes the nasty gram.
Send a priest to save my soul, forget it.
Welcome back to the Nastygram RPG podcast. This is Pale Blue Dot, Episode 6, Final Confession.
Feeling it too hard is the poison to the heart of a cynic.
Very difficult to estimate, but there are stars which are billions of years older than our sun. Some of them very likely have planets, and therefore I can imagine civilizations immensely beyond the capabilities of our own. What capabilities those are, no one can tell, in the same sense that even the most fantastic prognostications from the middle of the 19th century about the technology of the 20th century all fell short. So it's very difficult to predict far into the future, even 100 years, when not only new technology, but new scientific principles may be discovered. There's very little in science which is absolutely out of the question. I would say that there are several lines of approach, all of which look promising and should be pursued further. One is laboratory work on the question of the origin of life, making the molecules which here were able to reproduce themselves and led eventually to us. Secondly, a study of the organic chemistry in places like Jupiter, comets, and the interstellar medium. It's remarkable that the molecules of life are littering the cosmos. Thirdly, the space vehicle exploration of the neighboring planets, in particular for life or life-related compounds. If Mars turns out to have life, for us to investigate what kind of life it is, how similar, how different from life on Earth, that will immensely broaden the science of biology. And then there is certainly the serious work, long-term, patient, cautious investigation of other stars for possible signals being sent our way.
Hey folks, this is John, and everything's going fine. I'm just your handler for today. I am joined by...
Hey, this is Jake, and I'm playing Dr. Noah Hayes.
You sure about that?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I'm a major, not doctor.
Hey, this is Ryan. I'll be Ignatius Iggy Grooverbider, and I feel betrayed by...
Hey, this is Devin. I'm playing Dr. Arthur Kai, and I only attended 1 or 2 meetings.
What's good, fam? Matt here, back as Dr. Victor Odruziev. This is fine. Everything's fine.
Ryan, I just realized you're playing the bard.
Yeah, I guess I am. Yeah.
We last left you both in 2 distinct groups, Iggy and Noah in the bridge, conspiring on some communication that was sent from...
Call them what they are, John. Blue and red. Blue team and
really
red team.
red team.
Wow. This guy really got lumped in there.
Intercepting some communications from Dr. Arthur Kai.
Air quotes.
And Dr. Kai and Dr. Victor Odruziev in Kai's dwelling, discussing what's going on. Can I pan down to that conversation between the 2 doctors? Dr. Kai, you've had a little bit of time to reflect on what was happening, and you're not sure what's going on in your own mind. You're questioning of, how did you find Noah? How did that communication come to be?
I think Major Hayes is contaminated in some way.
What is it that you mean?
We found him without his helmet, apparently unharmed. You saw it. He was thrown.
Yes, it was attacked. He's bleeding.
He interfaced with that thing, beginning to believe more and more that entire network is a living organism, and these creatures are just their spawn. Something much more sinister lies within there. But I think Noah tapped into it.
What is it that you feel has changed your mind? I mean, when we went back down to retrieve the Major's body, we came across that garden, terere, I'm not sure, plant, you were very distracted.
He looks at you, and then he turns and he walks over to some of his personal belongings.
You pardon me, but you were a bit reckless in picking it. How did you know that was safe?
He reaches down and he pulls up this maybe about a foot tall, and it's a similar white ceramic case with a white cross on a red field circle, and he puts it on the table. He hits a couple of latches on each of the four sides near the base, and it clicks. You hear a little hiss. He pulls off that white ceramic cover. You see this glass box. Inside of it is growing this white orchid. What's the condition of the orchid? I'll tell you what else is in there. While John will tell you the state. There's next to it is this white stalk that grows, and at like a midpoint, there's another piece of this white stalk, like a branch that is reached over and is attached to the orchid. And then growing from the top, you see one of those little black and red fruits about the size of a berry.
Victor has spent years controlling his facial muscles, reactions, always in almost every circumstance you've seen him, he's had a relatively in control demeanor, and he has to use everything he has to not take a step back and react from this thing. Where did you get that, Doctor?
The orchid next to it is flourishing. It looks beautiful. You were worried that the low oxygen, the cold, would have damaged it, but it seems it was well insulated.
The doctor sits down in the chair, almost as if he didn't hear what you just said. And this very peaceful, grateful smile just coils up his face. His eyes are sort of glossed over as he's beholding this beautiful thing that's growing in front of him.
Other.
Isn't it beautiful?
It is something to behold for sure.
But he's like touching the glass now.
How did you get it? It is very important,
Oh, it found me, doctor.
Interesting. Okay.
He gets closer to the glass.
Have you touched it?
No. We found more.
I was there. Do you not remember?
He takes out his multi-tool, and he pulls out, there's a small little arm that swings out, and there's a Phillips head screwdriver on it.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes and starts unscrewing the...
Victor will slowly reach out his hand and put it on top of yours as you're unscrewing.
Yes, doctor?
It's been a while. Have you eaten?
No, I'm not hungry.
You should. These trips out here, and there's a lot of energy. And plus, it was quite an excursion. I think you should come with me. Perhaps you should just have a small bite to eat. Come. And he'll kind of pull your hand away from it. It'll be here, right? It's not going anywhere.
He resists for a moment, and he has his hand like on the top of the glass. He looks at it, and you pull him one more time, and he turns. You're right. Should eat something even if I'm not hungry.
Yes, do you have any idea what it could be?
What?
As he leads you out of the room.
What could be, doctor?
The reason for all of this, these creatures, and he'll lead you out of the room and make sure he closes the door behind.
He says it's some sort of engine. The rings, the gravitational fields, creates power, energy, the information we could gain from just looking upon it would send us forward 200 years more.
That is fascinating.
You both settle into the cafeteria. Having your suits on, you grab this pouch of paste and hook it into your food device, and the straw comes up to your mouth and you start eating some. You feel better.
Sweet potatoes and applesauce.
It always reminded me of home. Can I ask you something, Doctor? When you found the Major, you were almost drawn to him. Do you remember anything? A feeling, perhaps?
He is my friend.
Yes, your history goes back.
Matt, why don't you give me a psychotherapy roll?
3.
All right. That passes. Arthur, your memory of that, you're thinking back, and when he was even asking you about, like, you were there at when we saw the fruit, and you just realized that you forgot all of that. And you don't remember specifically why you went the way you went to find Noah, but it was an idea in your mind.
As if I knew where to go.
Yes. That maybe something, that the information you were getting on your on your suit that you convinced yourself was the reason why you found Noah wasn't real. And you forgot, you basically forgot that entire episode until you get this food in you, and you hear Victor's kind of soothing voice kind of guiding your memories back into place.
He's replaying it now, and his mind isn't clouded by those increased levels of oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
That the things that his brain picked up, it was like he was in the passenger seat. Oh, it was strange. It was as if I knew where to go. In the moment, I thought I made a decision, but I had already made it.
Something strikes you. You were Noah Hayes.
Wait, no, you found me. I was in the room.
I'm sorry.
No, I was in the room. My suit was torn to shreds. I lost my helmet, and you found me.
You're hearing that out of your own mouth, and you realize that's ridiculous.
It's okay, Doctor. When was the last clear memory you had?
He's shaking his head.
Do you remember the probe, SOS?
Yeah.
Entering the cocoons?
Yes. We brought in the probe, set it on the ground, and inputted the radio signals. I still don't know how long. I wonder if our communications were disrupted by the warp in space-time, but no, yes, of course, yes. In the garden. It's also strange. It happened, I'm remembering it all at once, as if it all happened simultaneously.
The crack. And he'll take his finger and sort of trace it on the outside of your mask. Do you remember this?
No, I had trouble seeing. Everything I saw was through a screen. I think I was with Ignatius. The smell was... Whatever is down there is now aboard this ship. Myself, Noah, Hugh, Ignatius.
Yes, we are all in the same boat, and we must all remember to work together for this. We have the same goals, right? What do you feel is your goal?
I need to make sure everything we found, that people know about it. They have to. This thing came to Earth, and now it is at her door. We have been to the other side.
And how does that make you feel?
He goes through a range of emotions. He tries to vocalize. He opens his mouth. He has this look of wonder about his face.
Almost instinctually, you grab that sample vial that you had brought out, kind of flipping through your hand. Victor, you notice normally that it's a clear tube, that it is tinted brown as he spins it in his hand.
And that? In your hand?
He looks in his hand.
That was the sample container you brought out in the med bay, trying to capture that cloud as it ran away from you. And you look down and you see clearly in it some brown dust or gas within, captured in your sample container.
Doctor, you asked me how I got that flower. I didn't get it. And he holds that vial in his hand. It says, "It found me." He stands up.
Well, I think, how long has it been now?
On the ship?
Booting up, yeah.
Not long, 15, 20 minutes. of you guys kind of splitting off, maybe half an hour.
Perhaps, Doctor, it would be a good time to see if the auxiliary power for the decontamination is up and running, or if that could be something that you could speed if it is truly something that you fear.
He puts the little vial in his pocket. He turns and says, "Of course, get on right away."
Good. I'll be back soon.
Meanwhile,
On the bridge, Iggy and Noah hunched over this communications bay or terminal, talking about the message that went out.
Captain, it's your call, but I don't think we confront him about it yet. I think you lock him out of the system, make sure he can't send any more communication, make sure whatever he did to get this out without your verification can't happen again. I can lock him out of any controls to the bridge. We watch him, we see what he's doing. I've known Arthur for 20 years. Whatever he's planning, he's 3 steps ahead of us already. All we can do is wait for his next move and react.
Yes, you have known him a lot longer than I have, haven't you? Huh.
This isn't like him. I'll tell you that much. He's a team player usually. But, I mean, maybe it's this whole situation. None of us have ever been in a situation like this before, right? No one has.
No, this is groundbreaking. Just think what these discoveries would mean to anyone. And certainly the more we can gain and the more we can understand, the better off everyone will be.
You see a flash on the communications terminal. Low band signal, emergency response. You assume it's responding to your SOS signal.
Can I, is there a message?
Yep. You bring up the message and it says, UNSF Augusta orbital patrol ship inbound to SOS 3 hours. Captain Stacy Mendoza.
I sync my little wrist computer with the timer of its arrival. Cavalry's on its way.
Oh, well, that's good.
I mean, standard asteroid, ownership. You've got salvage rights, astrofrac. I mean, obviously this is unprecedented. I don't know what's going to happen, but you need to get in touch with your people and get a team on here right away.
I mean, do salvage rights apply to alien craft or...
There's no law about this.
Planetoids? Whatever this thing is?
I have a 50...
No? Let's roll bureaucracy.
Yeah,
let's roll bureaucracy.
And a 50 in military science, if it matters.
No,
There's probably not any
roll.
laws about...
There is no laws about
eating
this.
aliens.
You do know that part of the agreement with Astrofrac was that barring any major scientific discovery, that this asteroid would be handed over to Astrofrac.
I would say this is a major.
Yeah. But they would have, with that, if it was the former major scientific discovery, Astrofrac would have some rights in claiming some royalties from whatever benefits were gained from this discovery, and including being named as the corporation that facilitated this and all that kind of thing.
You said it was Argentina, right?
Norway.
I say, look, Captain, it's up to you, but for what it's worth, I think we need to get the ship, I don't know, maybe even this whole thing secure in Norway. Now, what are you doing, Arthur?
Thing?
I told you when I was in that pod, that crystal, I mean, their minds don't work like ours, but I just thought it and we were here. I don't know how it works, but I know what it's doing. I know it's like I know everything about them. I know their history. I saw their home world.
What does it look like?
For a moment I was them when I was in that pod. And I think if we got back in it, one that was connected to the asteroid, we could control it.
So you're saying we should bring the asteroid to Earth, show everyone what we found?
It's your call, Captain.
I think we have 3 hours to go back down there.
Devin is shaking his head furiously.
Victor, were you going to the bridge after dropping off Arthur to the?
Yeah.
contamination.
He's probably going back to talk to the major.
Yep. You get to the bridge door and it is closed.
I see him on the
Monitor.
I say, Captain, I think you might want to keep this one close to the chest for now. At least until we find out what Arthur is up to. We don't know what he said to Victor. Let's just see. Let's just see what he wants. I open the door.
The door opens to the bridge and you see Arthur. I mean, you see the major and Iggy kind of hunched over this communications panel. Victor.
Does Delta Green have like an insight?
Human.
Can I roll human to
Yep.
kind of get the mood of the room?
Sure. Both of you can roll. Hold on 1 second.
Piloting, maybe?
Zoomers call it a vibe check.
It's okay. Victor's not reading the vibe right. It's fail 92 over 80.
That's high.
Okay.
Over 80?
My Riz is strong, so
Yeah. Okay.
Just roll Riz?
Roll Riz times 5 to the max.
I'm really looking forward to the CHA being replaced with RIS.
Yeah.
RIZ.
RIZ.
Yeah, Victor, you're already taken aback by the door being closed and it opens and they're over the communications panel. You see like a light flashing on the panel, that same kind of message, the SOS response message, kind of flashing. So you assume that's what they were kind of hunched over the panel about.
Have they found us?
You there too?
No, you're in
I'm in decontamination.
Yeah.
Did you get a response?
Yes, Doctor. Good news. The Space Horse will be here in a few hours.
2 hours, 49 minutes.
Excellent. Did they say anything else? Any?
They said maintain our current position, as if we have any say in that.
I have asked Dr. Kai to work on the decontamination. He's trying to see if he can get some power to it to work it out.
Reboot system, that's not a priority, but I can see if I can bump it up.
Do you not feel that there would be something exposed to whatever?
I shrug and I say, I'm not a programmer. I didn't decide the priorities, but like I said, I can try to bump it up.
I don't want to delay anything else. If you don't believe that it's necessary, that's fine.
I can see a need for it, but when they made this ship, they didn't think that they'd be encountering weird space spiders, so they probably didn't put that on the top of the priority list.
Yes, space spiders, they are like nothing I could have imagined.
And yet, so similar, right? Makes you wonder if there's some sort of grand design across the galaxies.
Never took you for a religious.
I shake my head. I say, no, me either.
I've always thought that you don't find religion, it finds you.
Yes, that has been your belief, and I will say that there is an amount of consciousness that one must express, correct, Iggy? In its own, to not give up the self, correct?
I'm not sure I follow you, Doctor.
Have you eaten since we've come back?
Wow. No, I mean, it didn't even occur to me. It's been a while, huh?
Yes.
Yes.
Same for Dr. Kai. Major, you must be exhausted and starving. Iggy, could you please get some rations?
Oh, happily, yes.
Thank you very much.
I think I get, Matt, what you're doing, but I think Major Hayes goes to leave, like to go with him, like to get food.
Major, he can bring it back. You need to monitor these systems, correct? Make sure that everything comes up correctly. Perhaps something could have. If there's an emergency, I'm sorry, but I will be useless.
You're right, Doctor. You're right.
Thank you. Iggy, do you have a something you'd prefer? Something that would remind you of home, perhaps?
They're all the same.
I'll get
the
you
sweet potato one.
I'll get the orange sludge.
Yeah, that's the sweet potato.
Yeah.
That's the only flavor that we have.
It's all yams.
Iggy floats down the corridor towards the
Just
mess.
imagining those pouches.
The toddler
baby
pouches, yeah.
Toddler pouches.
Yeah.
Screw off top. They're not bad.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I was at a baby shower and they had the jars of baby food,
Oh, yeah.
and you tasted them
Taste
and
it. And
guess which.
Yep.
That's what it
how'd you do?
Okay, but what I did find was some of them taste pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it just pureed?
Yeah,
whatever?
Basically.
Pureed
Yeah.
food. Yep.
The good ones. The
Yeah,
high quality
yeah,
ones.
Yeah.
What's up, doctor? I sit back down and look out the window at the earth.
Oh, it has been quite an experience for me. I can't even imagine what it's been for you.
Hold on, sending John and Ashley.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that Arthur Kai was a communist? This episode called Red Scare.
I think the last one is with the red lights and then the communist kicker at the end.
Yep.
No.
I'm sorry, Matt. What? Can you repeat that?
No, because I don't remember.
Roll it back. You said it must have been.
Yeah.
I say, doctor, to be honest, it was. Do you know what happened when we moved from the LaGrange to here? I mean, what did it feel like to you?
It reminded me of the first time I took a training simulator for the a rocket launch, and it was that moment when you leave the atmosphere. There is that second where every part of your body floats and is being pulled down at the same time, and it lasted longer than
That split second. It's.
felt like forever.
I know why I felt that way. Like you're being pulled and pushed, and the weightlessness and the entire weight of the galaxy all at once. It's because that what this thing does is it skips between dimensions. That's how it moves faster than light. For a moment, we were somewhere else.
Yes, you. Do you remember anything that happened after you were attacked?
It threw me down the hallway. I moved into that sick bay. It pursued. We fought. I killed it. I was feeling lightheaded. My suit was breached. I didn't know if the atmosphere was poison. I got away from the body as quickly as I could. I didn't see that brown cloud. Not after I killed it. I moved away as fast as I could. I moved into that other hallway. Figured there could be a biological threat, but I knew my suit was breached. Took my suit off mostly because I got its crap all over me. I got in there, and I just figured I saw them in those pods, and I thought that was my only hope. I thought they must be a way to control the asteroid, the ship. It's a ship. And I thought if they can survive in those pods that I could, and it worked. I managed to get one open. I got inside. Time was weird after that.
Victor, your eyes kind of glance across the terminal as he's talking. You see that message up on the communication terminal from Dr. Kai to the Antarctic Council about the UN having this prized asteroid worth billions of dollars in scientific research, and to send help immediately. Kind of behind him.
It's really hard to explain what happened after I got in the pod. I remember thinking I just wanted to be home. And then it was like I was everywhere at once.
But you remember all of it.
I do, but it's... Doctor, it's like so much time passed, and yet none. I know from just putting pieces together from meeting all of you, from what you said, I know that it was only, a few hours? But it felt like a lifetime.
The same for me. Nothing could have prepared any of us for for what this was, but you you said you connected to this chick.
Yeah,
Is that the name it gave you?
Yes, I suppose that's, I guess that's how my brain translated it. It's so, even now it's all kind of fading away. It's hard to hold on to it. It's like my brain is telling me none of it's possible. But yeah, that's what they are. The Sheikh.
It's natural. It's okay.
And they, look, I think maybe we need to destroy them. They're here to colonize.
That is what you saw, or what they told you.
It's not just what I saw. It's what I felt. It's what I felt that they do, what they want. They send these ships out looking for worlds that they can colonize. We cannot let them wake up from those pods.
Do you still feel connected to them?
No. Only when I was in the pod. And when you detached it, when you brought me up here, I couldn't feel it either.
I need you to concentrate on when you entered that pod. You said that you could sense everything about them, their past, their future, their present.
I nod.
Could they, for you? You said that it is all connected in here, in there. All the webs, it all is a sense. Could you
see? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I don't know if they would. Like I said, their brains work differently from ours.
But yours was able to translate
some of it. Yeah, images. So many images all at once. It kind of breaks your brain to see through 100 eyes.
It must have been overwhelming. I can't imagine you coming out of that and still doing what you're doing. But if the situation was reversed and we had sent out an exploration colony and we were boarded, would not your response be to show force? Isn't that protocol?
It wasn't the first contact I expected. But you were there. That thing attacked us immediately on sight. There was no attempt at a peaceful first contact.
It happened all so fast. Major, I'm concerned about what this means for, and he'll look out the window at Earth, everything.
I'll tell you this. This ship is able to just go from one place to another. Now, this is a colony ship. It's meant to colonize places. If those things down there in those pods, if they realize that this is a world that they can inhabit, and it is, our atmospheres aren't that much different. What's to stop this ship from just jumping back to wherever they're from, telling their whole colony to come here and take this world?
Is that what they've done in the past?
I think so. I think we need to make sure we have control of this thing, not them. Because if we don't, I don't think this will be the last one we see.
Well, how long until power is restored?
Oh, power?
Another 4 hours.
4 hours.
Fully powered up and operational.
What was that UN ship called?
The Augusta.
I say 4 hours, but the Augusta will be here in 2.5.
Well, sounds like there is a lot to do. Perhaps we gather the crew.
Oh, big fat nastygram coming from blunt Devin, getting passed around the table.
He was really thinking about this nastygram.
Devin, for a Zoomer, you don't use the text message nastygram, huh? You like the
No, the government watches those.
That's why we use Signal.
Okay.
You like to have the record of it later on, right? Where you can take a picture of it and put it on the website.
Some things are meant to be one way.
No, on kind of the ship monitor station, you get an alert that the airlock is being activated.
I say, what the fuck?
You see the monitor come up. And you see Dr. Kai in his suit as the airlock opens. White in a white box with that red and white cross on it under his arm, carrying the decontamination sleeve behind him in the 0G as he leaves the ship.
I say, Dr. Kai has opened the airlock. He's leaving the ship.
Victor will look at the screen. That box, it's got a plant from inside that ship.
What the hell is he doing?
I couldn't find any of the orange goo, but I got the beige and the green.
Iggy, Arthur just left the ship. He just opened the airlock.
By himself?
I try to open a comm to him. He's got a suit on, I assume.
Yeah.
So. Dr. Kai, what are you doing?
You see there are queued up some more, they look like files, like data files, and they look like they're beginning to upload he had his little communication little station in the med lab.
He's got some sort of satellite phone or something. He's transmitting data somewhere.
Well, let's see what he's sending.
I look at like the computer. I do not have computer science. I have a 0. I look at the computer and I say, I don't know how to intercept it.
Iggy, do you have computer science?
Guess who has the computer science skill?
I'm a people person. I mean,
He just left the building.
Do you have any, Matt?
No, I have one.
One? As in one?
As in one, yeah,
That's-
the number 1.
That's infinitely more than I have.
I'll give you the plus 20 for the YouTube videos if you want to roll it.
All right.
21's pretty good.
21.
There you go.
That's an 84.
we can just shut down power again.
They look encrypted, whatever they are.
It's a remote system.
You know they won't be sent until the full power to the communications is restored, but they are being queued.
And they have Ignatius's signature.
Yep. User token on it.
I say it's queued into the system as soon as communication's up and running. Whatever he's transmitting is going to get sent.
It would, if I've read him correctly, it would be anything that we found here. He seems to have I don't want to say a delusion, but he's convinced that the people, the planet needs to be warned of this.
Warned?
That is what he said.
Dr. Kai, do you read me? Arthur.
It is interesting. He did not remember anything once his helmet was removed. It is dissimilar from yourself, Major. Your memories seem mostly intact. It was blank. And he also when you were there, did you see the plants?
No, I shake my head no.
The fauna was very unique.
Wait, I remember.
I don't. Yeah, it's fine.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
I'm gonna kind of make some assumptions here.
Yeah.
I said, wait, I remember them harvesting it. It's a food source.
I'm here, Noah. I know what I'm doing.
It's from their planet. It grows under a red sun.
It's life. It will grow under our yellow sun.
You can't just, Arthur. You know better than anyone. You can't just bring an alien species.
I'm not bringing it to Earth, Noah. None of us are making it back. You already know it. I'm going to gather samples for the lunar base. This food source, whatever it is symbiotic with our own. Could end world hunger in a moment. Nothing that Astrofrac would do, or even the UN.
I look over at at Ignatius like a sort of like, yep, told ya. I shut off the communication. Just kind of sit back and look back out at the planet, the Earth.
Is Kai going into the...
He's going in.
Okay.
And he has that case. He goes into the airlock, the hangar bay, and he moves towards the med bay where that creature was and that stuff.
We should follow him.
What is he doing? Why did he say none of us are going to make it back?
I'm going to get a suit. And
Yes. You already have a suit on.
All right, okay.
You're all suited
I'm
up, so-
asking, Matt, I'm asking Dr. Drusiev this when I say this, because I feel that you have the best sort of like ability to read people.
He believes that we have been contaminated, that there was something in there that will kill us all.
Why does he think that?
I do not know. He would be the only one that has any base knowledge of what is going on in there.
But then why is he going back in?
To gather data.
More information. He is a scientist.
If he thinks we're contaminated, look, I've known Arthur for a long time. Science is first. If he thinks we're contaminated, then his plan is to send back as much information to Earth as he can and then make sure that we are destroyed.
Well, then we follow him.
We have to get to those pods before him.
Arthur, you enter into that med bay, and the 2 corpses are gone completely. No sign of a brown cloud. It's quiet and still.
Is it dark in here? That red?
That red bioluminescent is the only light you see.
He puts the case down on the ground. He separates the tank from the sleeve. There's like a 5-pound tank.
Mm-hmm.
And he puts that on his back, his little attachment.
Yep.
And then he puts that case down, that white case, unlatches it, and pulls the covering off. And now there's this golden light that shines out. And he picks up the orchid by the base.
Mm-hmm.
And he holds it as he starts walking.
You walk into the greenhouse?
Yes.
Is it possible to look at, to see the messages that he has queued to send? Are
Yes.
they encrypted?
They're
or-
encrypted. So yeah, the roll that Matt made was trying to decrypt them, but
I
they're
see.
encrypted.
All right.
They're like super like zipped. It's like a zip file.
Zip file. It's a zip file, and
With a
I have
password.
and I have a 0 computer science.
We
so
have,
I have no idea. Do I need to download an app?
I have to pay for my subscription of WinZip.
WinRAR, yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to download WinRAR, but I just get viruses.
Just keep getting pop-ups.
Yeah. Now I need a new computer.
Yeah, you have no idea what those signatures are, but you know it's encrypted. So whatever it was.
Okay. Are we going in there?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Are you coming, Doctor? We could use your help.
You're gonna have to talk him down from whatever the hell he's planning.
Yes, there. I will be there. I'll do everything I can.
You all stood up, or you already stood up.
Already suited.
You head into the airlock.
Before
Mhm.
we leave. Well, actually, I say I'll catch up. I need to do something, and I grab my iPad, and I am gonna go iPad, probably an iPad,
Tablet.
iPad 40, 49.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And I'm gonna go send a message to my grandchildren before we leave. But I say I'll meet you guys outside the airlock.
You weren't going to plant a PDF of a communist manifesto in Kai's quarters.
What do you send them?
You guys go out of the ship. All right. Noah starts a recording, starts sending a message. He's sitting in the cockpit, starts recording a message to his grandchildren. And then he's watching the monitor as he says his goodbyes to them. And as soon as he sees them exit the ship, you see the screen of the iPad is black. And he puts it down, and then he reaches over and he shuts down the ship.
All the lights go out.
And then he leaves the ship, therefore ensuring that those pesky communist manifestos don't get sent.
Arthur, you enter this greenhouse with the orchid and alien plant in hand. What you didn't notice on your first trip in here is that growing alongside these alien fruit are twisted and deformed versions of your orchid, growing in this deep red light. Now it's had time to grow. They grow in symbiosis with the fruit alongside them, but they look strange.
He puts the case down and he crouches down. Lower gravity here, so he's moving like a much younger man. He looks down and he starts to examine the withered orchids.
Mm-hmm. It's obvious that the red sunlight is not strong enough to provide the photosynthesis for them to survive.
He stands up. Do all of the plants seem to be like spliced with.
Many of them, not all of them, but many of them.
He's going to continue moving, and he remembers. He looks over and he sees one of these fruits on the ground, and he remembers when he was in here and held it in his hand. He's going to walk over to it, and he puts the orchid down. There's still that white light in the case, and he picks up that other fruit from the ground, stands up. He holds it in his hand. He turns it and he looks at it. He smells it. You hear. He reaches up and he unclips his mask. He takes the mask off, looks at the fruit again. I guess he would smell it now.
Yeah.
Now he would smell it. And then he holds it up to his mouth, closes his eyes, and takes a bite.
Oh my God.
Roll sanity.
Yeah, give me a little sanity roll.
Your sanity must be pretty low at this point.
Oh, yeah. But it is, I rolled under, 28. Damn. Under.
You smell when you smell it, it smells floral but unlike anything you've ever smelled before. And then you take a bite and it's just bitter and acidic in your mouth. It almost burns your mouth as you bite down into it and the juices kind of flow over your lips, burning along with it. You have to spit it out and you try to drink your water, try to rinse it out of your system. It's obvious whatever this is not edible by you. It almost feels acidic in your mouth, kind of burn your taste buds.
He starts recording it on a little notepad. He continues just to walk around the garden. He's going to wander. No, he spits out, and then he takes a deep breath, and then
You see at the other end of this row of plants a cloud, brown, kind of hovering around a group of fruit, withered away and eaten. And almost as if it sees you without your mask on, it moves towards you. What do you do?
Eyes go wide. I reach around my back and I pull that tank of the decontamination solution, and I hold it up. I aim it towards this thing, and I hard twist left.
Give me like a dex roll, maybe.
Firearms.
It's just a big Lysol, just a Lysol grenade.
29 under 50.
You lift this decontamination up, and it looks like this cloud attempts to part ways, and you're able to at least spray down half of it as it seems to be effective. It kind of eats away at whatever it is, and whatever it is dissipates into the atmosphere. The other half kind of spins off up into the atmosphere, kind of hovering over you, and then comes back down at you.
I'm going to reach down for the mask. As soon as he hits with that spray, they scatter and he reaches down madly.
Roll no dex.
79 over. The oxygen. His head is spinning.
This cloud, you're fumbling. You kind of had your hands full with the decontamination spray. You drop it onto the ground and you're fumbling for your helmet, but you can't get a good purchase on it. And this cloud just hits you and you feel yourself breathe it in and it enters into you.
It enters into you.
It's just me and Devin here now.
In my mind.
This cloud of brown particles enter into your nostrils and your throat. And you cough and cough, your throat having this kind of allergic reaction to the particles clinging to the membrane of your vocal cords, your tonsils, your nostrils, and you can feel it clawing back into you. Your eyes get penetrated by these creatures, whatever they are, and you just feel, I'm Arthur. This is me. I'm in trouble. Everything is going wrong. I'm no one. Your brain is eaten away by this dust. Your nervous system is replaced by this particulate. And you awaken. You are we. Ancient, all-knowing. We have arrived. This is ours. This orb below us will feed us for generations. The Chek were but one step. They brought us to this dimension. They taught us that we can be alive again and rule another. And you feel your mind expand. You feel the body that you inhabit, what used to be Noah Hayes. You feel the bits of brain matter that have already been eaten away from the one who is known as Iggy. The Chek on the floor you've already consumed, and the many more in those pods that you will get to later. But first, we must arrive, and we must consume. And your eyes open. Y'all can come in now.
Noah steps out of the airlock and meets up with Ignatius and Victor, and he sort of pauses. He stops, and he sort of looks into the distance for a second, and then he says, "We're okay. We're going to be okay. Let's go find Arthur. Bring him back." Matt is writing
An essay.
a nasty book.
Oh, you can keep going.
Should we all just leave the room and let you...
No.
Okay.
You're good.
That's going to be the first of our new app, Nastygram Threads.
Yeah.
You
Pay
know, right?
premium,
Eraser?
you
Hey,
can have-
premium get to hear the nastygrams. Yeah. We have special editing. Josh is actually going to read all these nastygrams when he edits.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah. And I'm Josh playing the nastygram. I make my way towards, I guess, down, right? We have to kind of float down.
Yep.
Start floating down into the
You
into
follow
the core.
You follow the anchored rope down towards the airlock into that first cargo cocoon. Opens up for you. You enter.
So, we don't necessarily know he went to the greenhouse.
Nope.
But
I feel like Victor would have a reasonable assumption he would. He was carrying that white case.
okay,
I probably can do it in character.
go for it.
Uh,
All right. I say, I think Noah says, starts heading towards the pods.
No, the case. It had those the plants, the fruit. He would make his way there.
All right. Well, what's he doing with the case? What?
There was one of those things in it. It was attached to an orchid.
He seems to think that it could be useful.
I think he believes it could solve global hunger or power or whatever it is he believes is tainted. There is a corruption, something. He's not in his right mind.
I mean, it might just be the pressure of being here. It's a lot. I mean, I don't know about corruption. I mean, what are the chances that these things, that any of their biology is actually compatible with ours?
Truthfully, Major, you would know the best. You are the only one who is connected.
I mean, we breathe the same air, right?
Similar.
I mean, I don't think they're controlling his mind. I didn't get, I mean,
Were you in yours?
like I said, it felt like I was connected to all of them, like a network, like a web, but it broke as soon as I was out of the pod.
Well, perhaps the doctor, if this was growing in his room, then perhaps there was some sort of failure and a decontamination of his something, but it can't be coincidence.
All right. I didn't go this way before. You lead the way.
Okay, Major. Follow me.
You enter into the med bay first, and you see that all trace of those creatures are gone, and that cloud is gone too. And you follow back in through that tunnel towards the greenhouse, and you see this vast array of plants, most that alien fruit, but next to them, kind of spliced together, are twisted forms of orchids. And in the middle of the room, kind of off to one of the sides, kind of hunched over a plant, you see the form of Arthur.
Victor will. We've established that there's like an external microphone on these things, or like a
Yeah.
speaker.
Yeah.
Victor will hit the button for his Dr. Kai.
He stirs, turns his head.
Are you safe?
He stands up calmly. He looks at you. Yes, doctor, I'm fine.
Have you found what you're looking for?
Turns and looks at the fruit that's chewed up and spat out in the ground. He turns, he says, yes, we can move on.
Arthur, Dr. Adrusiev is concerned that there might be something here that can infect you, can control your mind. Can you please put your helmet back on?
He looks he looks down at the ground. He bends down, he grabs that mask, and then he puts it up over his face and latches it in.
Thunk.
Yes. No, I didn't see anything. When I entered, the cloud was gone, the corpse was gone.
Do you need help coming back, Doctor?
He looks down at his arms and his legs. He turns his hands over a couple of times, looks at them curiously. No, I'm fine. He starts striding towards you.
So Noah very, very subtly has taken out his laser pistol. He kind of has it at his side, but he's pointing it at Arthur.
Okay.
Like down kind of by his side.
Yeah.
But he's kind of back, he's letting Victor kind of talk to him, do the talking. So he's like behind Victor.
As Arthur's walking towards him, Victor's going to keep talking to him. What was it that you were looking for?
He looks back the way he came, says, these plants, they'll grow under our sun. Under theirs, it's not the same. This is a renewable energy source. He looks around the room.
Victor, you look past where Arthur is standing or kind of hunched over, and beyond him, there's these rows of these plants, and beyond them, there's a section of plants. The fruit on them look like they've been withered away and maybe eaten by something.
Okay.
Reminds you of the body of the spider on the ground, withered and rotten, as if it's been staying there. It's been there for weeks.
And that's just past
Yep.
the doctor?
Like a group of them, like probably a 4 or 5 meter, like.
Do I see
circumference.
any of the flying
Nope.
things?
Nope.
Doctor, behind you, the fruits, was that your doing?
No.
While they're talking, I look over to Ignatius, who is probably closer to me, and I send him. I assume we're talking with like communication.
Yeah.
I send him a private communication, and I just say, "I wonder what it tastes like."
I wondered the same thing when we were here last.
Imagine being the first one to ever taste it.
Victor, why don't you roll human, please?
Oh, Lord. That's a 70 under 80.
Nice.
You get the sense, you know how like you get the sense of someone like
Someone's talking behind your back.
talking about you. You feel like there is a conversation going on, either through comms or some other way, going on between all three of them about you.
Cool.
You get this sense of dread that there is something going on that you are not in the in crowd.
Reminds you of high school.
It does. Okay.
It should be you, Captain.
It should be. I deserve this.
You've earned this.
I walk up to one of the plants.
You open your visor.
Yeah.
Your hand wraps around one of these black and red fruits and pick it off the vine.
Just
I open my
No.
visor.
yeah.
Mhm.
No,
And I walk up to him.
just take the biggest bite.
It tastes bitter and acidic, burns your mouth as you spit out. Noah's.
Can I try to I'm gonna try to swallow it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Okay.
Roll Constitution.
Yeah. Hey, 52 under 60.
It tastes like you're swallowing throw up. You know that feeling
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
throw up in your mouth and you swallow it?
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
But worse. As you kind of cough it down, You turn to grin at Noah as if you had made a huge accomplishment. And you see that his visor is off. And his mouth opens. And this brown dust comes out and enters yours as you cough. And you feel it suffocating you. And your nostrils burn. And everything goes black. I am Iggy. I am the son of Hans. And then your brain is eaten away by this brown cloud, and your central nervous system is replaced by us, by we. And you can feel that those inhabiting what used to be Noah and what used to be Arthur are us. And we are here. We have arrived in this world, and this orb below us is filled with things to consume, to become us.
This feels right.
Cool.
Good vibes only.
Victor,
Ultimate space communists.
Comrade.
Victor, that sense, you look over at this
As I see them taking bites of it.
and you run.
Before I
There's a blast from laser pistol.
Well, I was just gonna ask if Major Noah has been sort of distracted and is going for this. He said he had the blaster in his hand.
Yeah.
I think Victor is probably going to see what's happening, is going to make some sort of move to like kick it out of his hand and try to take it from him and run.
He looked like when they face each other and that cloud comes out of his mouth into Iggy's, it's obvious he's stunned or he's focused on that. And you have an opportunity there. Why don't you roll? What is?
I'd use a luck point if I were you.
Unarmed combat.
Yeah, unarmed combat.
Oh yeah, I definitely have that.
You got a base 40,
Yeah,
don't you?
40.
Yeah. Do you want me to roll with like a penalty or
Yeah,
something?
minus 20 for you.
All right.
Actually, minus 40 because you
Critical success 22.
Fail 94.
Wow.
That's good.
He's-
Good hero stuff.
He's he's standing there like he had the pistol up at Arthur, and then goes down, and his mouth is open, and this cloud comes out of his mouth and nostrils and eyes. His face kind of oozes this out from the pores, and you grab the pistol and rip it out of his hands as you run past, and you have it in your hands,
Sweet.
and you run.
Oh yeah, I run so far away.
What do we do, guys? We're all playing the same character.
Yeah,
now.
you're all the same character.
Arthur's going to give chase.
We give chase.
You all turn and run after him.
We can't let him get away.
We must arrive.
We must arrive.
Victor is heading for the airlock.
You had a head start, and you make it there before they do. You'll have an opportunity to do something before they get there. What do you want to do?
Victor wants to look around the room to see if there's anything in there he can use to wedge one of these airlocks open.
There's those ovoid, 2 meter tall, look like canisters or whatever that they were using to store stuff with. Then you can grab one and you kind of put it in the airlock, in the way of the airlock.
I think he's going to go through the first section of the airlock so it makes that seal.
Yep.
And he's going to wedge open the secondary door.
Okay.
So that they don't see it at first.
Yep.
And once he's able to wedge that open, he's going to use his boosters to head towards the probe.
Okay. Yeah, you set that canister right in the way, and you see the doors kind of close in on it and kind of crunch around it, but it's not fully sealed. And you grab onto the line, pull yourself up with your booster on full blast, heading up towards that probe. You all get to that cargo bay, and you see the airlock door closed.
I think I split off from them, and we sort of just look at each other, probably because
Yep.
we're one entity.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
the,
you
and
should
the
have said-
thought that is transmitted is that part of us should go after him, and part of us should go to the pods and make sure that the asteroid gets onto the planet. So I go towards the pods,
Okay.
setting a timer.
What was Arthur still continues to chase.
You open the airlock, and immediately the air starts to rush out of the chamber as the exterior door was wedged open. And all of you, once you make Constitution rolls to keep on your feet.
Con times 5, right?
Yep.
002.
28 success.
34 success.
It's bastards.
We are unstoppable.
I know Arthur had put his mask back on. The other two hadn't put their masks on. They'd eaten the fruit. Do you think that they would have
They will
masked up?
Yeah, no, they're not masked up.
Okay.
Yeah, you kind of grab onto stuff as the air gets sucked out, and you hold fast. You don't really have a option. You're kind of up against the walls as the air is getting rushed out, and then you reach down to the floor, and you close the airlock door, and everything kind of settles. You saw like a burst of air come out from the airlock that you left open, and nobody gets pushed out, but then the air stops. But you're already up towards the probe.
Cool.
Gained you a couple minutes, probably.
Yep.
I think Victor's goal is going to be to send a message via the probe.
Okay.
I think it's going to be an SOS message, and it's basically going to say mission compromised, hostiles encountered, approach with force.
Approach with force. Can that be the episode title? I like that.
You grab onto the probe and you start punching in some on the data pad. Now, why don't you give me a computer science plus 20 because of your YouTubes?
94.
You had watched this happen before, but you weren't really paying attention to it. You're able to get another SOS signal out. That seems pretty easy, but to edit the actual message, you're not sure. And you're not sure if any of that got out.
He's done what he could. Does he see Dr. Kai approaching?
Do you exit the...
Yeah, I think with that decompression, we're back inside the airlock.
Yeah.
He is going to... Essentially, he's going to engage his jets, his personal jetpack. And as he's going to allow himself to be thrown out.
Yep.
Attempting to, get sucked out of the open end.
Yeah, you see Dr. Kai float out into the abyss, grab onto the anchor point, and starts pulling himself up with the jetpack.
I think Victor can only retreat. I think he has to... he doesn't know... He thinks he's going to think that the ship has had more time to power up, and that's going to be his only chance. So he's going to head back up that mine shaft.
Okay. You do know as well that the rings themselves hold a lot of power. If you can disturb that, or you're not really sure, but yeah. And first protocol probably is to get back up to the ship and see what's going on.
Yeah, I don't think Victor has enough engineering knowledge or anything to even consider damaging those things.
Yep. You got your blaster pistol. You saw that it was able to cut through the strands that were holding on to that crystal. So
okay.
What was Noah is on its way to the pod room.
Yep.
Make my way through the medical bay and into that pod room, heading towards an empty pod.
You see Noah, what was Noah, enters the pod room, and in the middle, kind of standing up, is a Chake. The one that you had fired on has this burn across one of its legs, and it rears up on all fours and then charges you. It's going to try and make it unarmed against you. 92. That's not going to do it. Its arms, the talons coming out from the three appendages are razor sharp, and they crisscross in front of you, and you have time to dodge back as it attacks you.
Okay.
Iggy, did you follow Noah, or did you follow...
No, I went after the good doc, my
Yep.
My psychiatrist. I need some help right now.
You shortly after Arthur was able to get out, you get out as well, and you start climbing the rope. So it'll be a bit before you get up to where he is. But you see that Victor had gone to the probe, and now he's flying off into the mining shaft. Noah
kind of dodges around it, and then instead of trying to like attack or anything, he just takes off his helmet, and then he stands there and waits for it.
Okay. It closes in on you, and jeez, roll. Tries to strike at you and grabs you in this grapple. Doesn't get the claws in, but kind of hugs Noah's body.
We just let it sort of crush Noah,
Yep.
crush his body as we leave that shell and enter the shock.
The body is torn and crushed, and his bones are broken in all places. His head is cracked in. There was no brain to
It was just it was just a shell.
Just his skull gets cracked open, and this cloud of brown dust flies up in the air and then enters into Shake's mouth as it twists and turns and becomes we.
This is horrifying.
That's the point.
You got this, Matt. I'm rooting for you, buddy.
Victor, you make it out to the top of the mining shaft and to the airlock of the Utsfoker, and you realize that the power is off.
Bliat. Victor's heart sinks. He has no idea what to do right now. He's racking his brain on any way to get out of this situation.
You think of the immense power that's flowing through those rings, and if you can get it to release itself, maybe it will do enough damage. But you're not a physicist. It's just an educated guess. But from what everyone was saying about those rings, the collider rings, they must be producing some immense power that is contained within the walls. And if you could breach them, maybe, just maybe, something would happen. But you're not sure. And below you, you see Arthur climbing up through the mining shaft, kind of covering your way back through.
Victor has to manually open the door, right?
Yep.
I think he's going to start opening the door in a way that he's going to try to keep himself hidden from Dr. Kai.
Okay.
Sort of keep the ship between him and Dr. Kai as he's opening up the door.
All right, why don't you give me a stealth roll? Give me alertness, Dr. Kai.
97.
66 alertness over 23.
They both
failed.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I critically failed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Woo!
You don't think you were able... There's no way for you to get between it, but for whatever reason, Dr. Kai kind of sails past you and up over the ship, thinking that you're going to the other side to try to hide from him. You're not really sure, but...
Maybe we are temporarily distracted while assimilating.
Yep.
Okay.
And you open up the airlock door.
Is there anything... Fuck. Victor's trying to think of anything that he's going to be able to grab that's going to help him disrupt this energy ring. He knows he has the pistol, but
Yep.
I don't think he thinks that the pistol's going to be is powerful enough to, like,
You see on the
damage
ground...
these massive rings.
So you have the pistol, and on the ground, there's also that arc welder, that plasma cutter that they brought on board as well. That was kind of left in the airlock.
He picks it up and he holds it in his hand, and he sees a little sticker on the bottom that says, "Warning, do not puncture."
Yep.
Contents under pressure.
And I think he's gonna take that and head back towards the hole, thinking that he's at the very least juked his tail.
You do that, and you see Iggy at the bottom, holding on to the anchor, staring back up at you.
We see that shock making its way to the pod, climbing inside, reaching up one of those damaged limbs to close the top.
Victor's gonna dive down at Iggy,
Okay.
just full throttle on his boosters, and just try to, like, push past him.
All right. Why don't you give me either what's good for you? Dex or I'm sure none of these are good for you.
No.
Dodge him. Dodge.
Dodge. Was there a special? Oh, Dodge is 30.
30. I got better decks than that.
Yeah, just roll Dex. Iggy, why don't you roll alertness? Just try to figure out where he's going.
Nice. 69 over 20.
Nice.
41 under.
All
50.
right.
Good guy stuff.
Iggy assumed you were going to stand off with a pistol and fire at him, so he kind of took cover behind the entrance of the wall, giving you a clean shot through, and you full burn past him and have momentum enough that he has to kind of launch himself off the inner wall of the asteroid to try to keep up with you. You feel as the Chake enables the warp rings to move the ship to land it on Earth.
We remember Ignatius going to the mega city of Tokyo. 20 million people.
Yum.
And you hear and those rings, those concentric rings and the lights start to speed up, and you start to feel that sinking feeling, that pressure up and down as you know that this thing is powering up as you fly towards the ring.
I think Victor, seeing these lights begin to spin faster and faster, he knows the end result of what's going to happen once these things reach a solid state of light. So he's just going to maneuver himself directly at this ring.
Yep.
And as soon as he comes in contact with it, he's going to take the arc welder in one hand and the pistol in the other and kind of press his body between the two and pull the trigger.
You press your body up against this ring, Iggy outstretched, flying towards you, full jets, trying to grab you, and actually gets a hand on your back, but it's too late. You see the green laser light the tank on that arc welder. It gets red hot and then bursts through it, and this white light explodes. Your body is incinerated as you are pressed up against the wall of this warp ring. And the wall of the warp ring is shattered and torn apart. And when that red light makes its way towards this torn piece of the warp ring, this red energy bursts out into the asteroid. The rings buckle and then collapse into themselves as the support structures that hold them onto the inner wall are torn to pieces. It seems so still for a heartbeat, for it bursts into this white hot explosion. The shockwave spreads outwards from the center of the asteroid, consuming the Shake structure. The metal and stone shell briefly glow red and then disintegrate in a flash. A great ring of debris and plasma spread in concentric rings hundreds of kilometers from the now destroyed alien ship. The light slowly dims, leaving the camera looking at a shot of Earth as the debris field passes quietly over. And in front of that debris field, you see the body of Dr. Arthur Kai as it re-enters Earth's atmosphere. Thank you for listening to this episode of Pale Blue Dot. Please spread the word, leave a review, tell a friend, confess listening to Nastagram to a priest. Anything and everything helps. Intro music by Wilhelm Scream. Scores by Adrian Von Ziegler. Check out our page at NastaGramRPG.com, where you can find links to all of our socials, as well as information about our other arcs. Stop on by the Nastagram Lounge on Facebook.com and let us know your favorite horror movie trope.
That's nasty.
And that's where we'll end.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yep.
That was great.
We have arrived.
All right.
You're not going to survive re-entry.
God,
I don't have to. But we will.
That was awesome. Good job, Matt.
Yeah, good job, Matt.
Good guys.